What's your concept or what's your perception about young entrepreneurs that are blazing through frontiers in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of business, and in terms of impacting and inspiring people? Well, today I will be talking to a young, energetic, passionate, and inspirational man who is a businessman and an entrepreneur. We'll be talking to him about everything concerning his business, everything that he has achieved so far, and I trust that this will be an inspirational story to you. My name is Felix Dazi, and welcome to Inspiration. Right after this break, my guest, Mr. Dickson Dziwornu, is my special guest for today. He is on the seat, and we will be talking entrepreneurship, business, and how he got to the level he is now. This is Inspiration. Don't go anywhere. After this break, we'll have an amazing time. Welcome back. I told you my guest for today, he has an inspirational story that will be a blessing to you, an inspirational story that will set you up for a lifetime of bliss in terms of business and in terms of entrepreneurship. Are you looking into getting into entrepreneurship or looking forward to getting into things that will inspire the next generation? Well, my guest for today, he is an inspiration, and he will be sharing some very important nuggets with us. My guest for today is already seated, and we will see some of his works that he has been doing all over the country. Mr. Dickson Dziwornu is my guest for today. Mr. Dickson, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
You're looking amazing.
Oh,
they said the host must dress more than the guest, but this one the guest has dressed more than the host.
Oh, I think it's part of my professional ethics.
Okay. To dress more than your...
no, you always look good.
So that's why you're looking good.
Sure, if you say so.
Anyway, let's find out who Mr. Dickson is. First of all, I have your profile, amazing profile here about you. You are an entrepreneur, you're a financial analyst and a researcher. You are a national executive member of the Business Chamber Unit of the Youth Ministry of the Church of Pentecost. You serve in church too as well?
Yes, please.
That's great. And you are the Chief Executive Officer, CEO, and the founder of Kwesi Distribution Agency and Kwesi Construction Works Limited. And you started your career with the National Health Insurance Scheme. Yeah. All right, that's from 2010 to 2011. And you moved to Ajeso Clinic, and now you are on your own as the CEO, and you have a lot of degrees. Yeah, you have a master's in philosophy in finance from the University of Ghana, and MPhil. You are also a finalist of the Institute of Chartered Accountants in Ghana, ICAG. The only thing I don't see on your profile is being in heaven. Apart from that, you have every degree. So,
yes.
All right.
Being in heaven, I have to empty myself before I go.
Before you go. Anyway, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Rich resume, rich CV in there. What do you think about your life for the past? Let me. I don't want us to guess your age, but let me do 30 years. The past 30 years, would you say life has been rewarding to you?
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity. I must say that I'm very, very grateful to be on your platform, and then to also share my experience to Ghanaians all over the world, for them to know how being an entrepreneur, you're going to look, your life is going to be. Yeah, I think for the past 30 years, I'm just past 30 years, so I've done much.
Okay.
So for the past 30 years, it's been good, but it's been very, very, very hard to take. But then God has been grateful to us. We have come to this far, and we expect more to be done in the coming years. Okay.
Growing up, is this all you've wanted to do?
Well, yeah. So you see, whenever you're growing up, from the family, you have to hear from your parents, go to school, learn, get good results, and then get a good job. So that is the analysis or whatever they put into our background. But I think on the line going to school, I realized that there was a need for us to also look at other things. So I lost my daddy on the way.
Okay.
So after that, after secondary school, I had to go and hustle. And then I hustle in Togo to Cotonou, those areas.
You hustled there?
Yeah, I hustled
in Togo
there.
and Cotonou?
Yes.
Okay, what were you doing there?
Okay, let me say, in Togo, we were selling this insecticide. The one
insecticide?
Yeah,
okay.
they used to kill these teacher fries and those things.
Okay.
So I buy from Ghana, I sell at Togo, and I spent like 2 to 3 years doing that business to raise money before I could go to the tertiary. Okay. So when I did that business, I realized I was able to sell. So I realized that there was a special innate in me. Apart from being a good student, I realized that okay, if I sell,
you were a good student.
Yes.
In secondary school.
In secondary school.
Oh, okay. And you lost your father in secondary school.
No, right in GSS. I lost
GSS.
my father in, I think 1999.
99. Okay.
On 11th March 1999.
Okay.
I lost my father, so I was very young. But then that has inspired me because that moved me outside the schooling aspect.
Okay.
And when I got into the world, I realized that, oh, okay, if I do this and that, I'll be able to also to move on.
What is the this and that?
that is
okay. What is the this and that?
Okay, so
because we want to know the how, on inspiration. That's what we're doing.
Okay, so what happened is that you see, in life, every problem that you face in life is a real opportunity for you. And
every problem is a real opportunity for you. Okay.
And every problem also prepares you to become very tough. So if you see how the magnitude the problem is, after you've gone through that problem, you become bigger than as you were.
Okay.
So, for instance, you could lose your dad, your mom, or whoever is taking care of you. It becomes a big blow to you.
Exactly.
If you're able to move ahead and take over, you become bigger than as when you were.
Okay.
Okay, so when I lost daddy and I realized that there was nobody to take care of me, but then I said no, I won't have to be in the house and say because I lost my daddy, I couldn't go to school and that. So I went out to sell.
You went out to sell?
Sell, yeah, to sell things. So when I did that, I realized, okay, in trying to sell to you, I have that kind of good innate in me.
Okay.
So why don't I combine the two and work it out? So I try, and then I was successful. I came to school from Kofodia Poly, and when I came to Kofodia Poly, from 2007 coming, in fact, my money got finished. So in 2008, they were giving a student loan.
Okay.
At that time in school. So I think we gave us 240 cedis at 2008. So that was for the 2 semesters. So I used part to pay my school fees, and then I used 50 cedis out of that money. I bought a chip, MTN
chip, okay, transfer chip
for my own classmate. His name is called Anani Richard. Everybody know that Dr. Anani. So I think he'll be watching me.
Okay.
So started the business, trying to do transfer and other things.
In school?
In school.
Kofodia Poly?
Kofodia Poly.
Okay.
In fact, when I came to Poly, when I was coming to Poly, I had a mind that I wasn't going back to my village.
You are not going back. Where are you from?
I'm from Akimbomso.
Akimbomso.
In the eastern region,
okay,
close to Asium.
Is that where you grew up?
That is where I was born.
That's where you were born, okay.
Yes.
But you grew up in...
Yeah, I grew up in a boarding school. So I grew up in a Hector International.
Hector, okay.
Yeah, so my father was a teacher, so he would be transferred to this place and that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I was much in the boarding school.
In the boarding school.
So I left boarding school from Jesus when I lost my father.
Okay.
And I went back to the Saito at Asium Presby to complete my GSS.
And after that to Togo?
And after that I went to SS.
Okay.
At Achansi Secondary School.
Okay.
So after Achansi Secondary School, that is when I went out to Togo to hustle to get money to come and do my tertiary education.
And you were selling insecticides?
Yes, so sometimes you see there are some businesses that when you see people doing, you will not really regard them, but they are making a lot of money.
Businesses like
businesses that are petty businesses.
Okay.
You see, when a business earns you, let's say coins, 1 city, 2 cities, and the turnover is high, that person will be richer than somebody selling cars. Because maybe if you are selling cars, maybe the whole year he can sell, let's say 30 cars. What about the person is doing a lot of turnover? At the end of the year, he will be getting money more than you.
What is turnover? Because for the ordinary man, he doesn't understand these business.
Yeah, so when we say that turnover is basically the amount that you sell, every day.
Maybe a day you sell 20.
Tomorrow you sell 35. Okay. So that becomes your turnover.
Okay, so maybe someone is watching us facing challenges, also want to start these small businesses. What businesses would you confirm or would you recommend to the person?
All right.
Now we know insecticides.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's seasonal, eh?
Yeah. No. You see, haven't you seen those guys walking around selling those things? Yeah. It's not seasonal. But you see, business, before you can start doing something, depends on where you are.
Okay.
And what really exists over there, what the people need, what are the problems of the people.
Okay.
So if you live in an area whereby people complain about, let's say, getting access to mobile credit and all kind of stuff, then you can see that, oh, okay, let me set up an MTN transfer, whatever it is. So it depends on where you are and the problem that exists within that area.
Okay.
But one thing is that each and every other person has its own vision.
Okay.
But every vision has to start small.
Every vision has to start
small.
Okay.
Because as I told you that I did this insecticide, after that I moved into selling of mobile money. After that I moved into selling of shoes and underwear and that kind of stuff. I did all those stuff before I came back to selling of iron rod, cement and that, before I moved into manufacturing, before I came to farming. So you realize that it is a process that I'm going through.
Okay.
So in starting your own vision, the vision can be great, but you don't have the capitals to start that bigger vision. So break the vision into smaller particles.
Okay.
And then start from somewhere. So there are vehicles that will create money for you to be able to finance your vision in future.
Okay.
So for instance, if I want to build up a filling station, an oil filling station, it'll cost me around, let's say, 500,000 or be 1 million cedis. Do I have the money now? No. So what do? I can start from, let's say, selling on the street. That's another vehicle. From that, I can start doing this thing. That's another vehicle. So there are vehicles that will help you to finance your vision in future.
In future, okay.
That is it.
So these small businesses, sometimes they are vehicles.
They are vehicles.
Okay.
They are vehicles. What they are seeing me doing now. Now even my construction that I'm doing is a vehicle to me. Okay. What I want to do, you have no idea.
Okay.
Yes. And that is the vision I want to finance. But I will not be able to finance that vision now. But then when I use those vehicles, I'll be able to gather some money and then in future finance the vision that I want to accomplish.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. That's an interesting analysis. All right. So you came to Koforidua Poly. How much did you come to Koforidua Poly with?
Yeah. So when I was coming to Koforidua Poly, I have spent, let's say, 3 to 2 years after school. I committed in 2004. So and I came to Poly in 2007. So I have spent 3 years hustling.
Hustling
To get money for school.
Okay. How much are we talking about?
I think when I was coming, I was a little bit wise enough to buy some assets. So I bought some other things that if my money get exhausted, I could sell and also get some money into getting liquid cash. So I couldn't remember, but I was able to pay my admission fee, pay my rent and start from the beginning on my own. So I started a school. And then alongside, I realized that things were getting hard. So I got the student loan and then I started business. So when you go to Koforidua or Krasi, where they have the market, that is where I had my kiosk. So after school or after lectures, I ran fast back to my business and do. So if you ask my colleagues, they will tell you that I don't joke with time.
Okay.
I always make sure that I go back to business and then start doing something. Then from there, we have to go and do national service. And then let me tell you one interesting story that happened at national service. You know, trying to finance your business, it has to do with the passion to be able to be creative. When we went to national service, we were about 8 or 9 people at Odumasi National Health Insurance.
Okay.
So I called them one day and I told them that when we finish this national service, all of us want us to get employment here. but it's not going to happen. It could be just one person or two people. So why don't we try as much as possible to probably, when it's the end of the month, everybody brings out 200 cedis, you give it to one person. So that at the end of the service, probably you can have a take home to go and do something. And when I said that, they all said, oh, it's a good idea. So I asked them, so who's going to be the first? And nobody wanted to be the first person. Everyone wanted to be the last. So that when at the end of the service, you will take his money and go home. And I said, I want to be the first.
Okay.
So 200 times, I think times 8 is around 1,006 in 2010, 2011. Okay. So when I took that money, when I went to do Master Krobo, I realized that, oh, that area I could sell men's wear, shoes, and other things. And because I have experience in crossing the border in Togo and transaction, I took the money, I went to Togo, I bought men's wear from Togo. I came to sell to them again and sell to the people around. So I used their money to do business for about 8 months. So when we were leaving the National Health Insurance, I had made enough capital to go back to my business. Meanwhile, they were just going home with the money that they were getting. So I was able to do that, and that aspect, I made up some kind of cash, and I started doing another business, selling the shoes and other things. Before I went to Ajose Clinic, I spent 5 years in Ajose Clinic. But
what did you go there as?
I went there as an accountant.
As an accountant, okay.
Yeah, so I think I was an accounts officer, and I became the accountant. So I was responsible for purchasing and requisition of drugs and that. And that area too, I served very well. And as I told you that whenever you encounter problem, you make good use of it.
Okay.
I think when I was in Ajose Clinic, I had the greatest opportunity in my life, and I made good use of it. Okay. I think one person came to my office who was he was a sales rep for a particular company, and he told me that there is another company that wants a particular drug, that he doesn't do it. Okay, so when he told me, I said, oh, okay, then I could help that person. So I also knew a company that does the same particular medicine. So I had to speak to that company, and we spoke to the woman. We gave the woman a price, and then the woman asked us to bring the product. So I started selling medicines or distributing medicines to some private companies, and then in that aspect too, I was able to make money. Okay. Then from there, that is where I went to open my hardware shop at Akemoda. So I had about 4 stores of hardware. We sell cement, iron rods, and stuff over there. And then in course of the business, at that time I was still working with Ajose Clinic. Okay. So I spent only my weekends on my main company. So in that course of doing that business too, I had the greatest opportunity in life, and that was a problem to somebody. And that, I think, was 2015. The World Bank was doing a project in Akemoda called a UDG. So they were building up hostels. So the contractor came to buy items from me, and then he just started the project at just say the footing. Okay. So about a month ago, he called me back and he said that he has a problem. That he has so many projects that he doesn't want to continue with that project again, and that he wants to stop the project. He wants to give the project to me.
That's what he said.
I said, no, for me, I am not into construction, and I don't want to go in there now because I know there's a lot of risk in it. So the man said, okay, I should go and think about it. You come again. So what I did was that I picked an architect to site, and he did the calculations. And when he did the quantities, he told me that if I do that project, I will get a loss of about 150,000 cedis. Okay. A loss? A loss. So I said, okay. But the project was in 3 folds. Step 1, step 3. It was 3 biddings. Okay. So I sat there and I went back to think about it, and I said, okay, if I will get a loss of 150,000 in the first stage, you should do another projection for the second and third phase, and let me see. And when he did that, I'm like, okay, I could make profit in the second and the third phase. Okay. So I took the step and I took a bold step, and I did a project. And then surely I had a loss about 80,000 cedis in the first stage in 2015.
Okay.
And I did the second phase and third phase, and I was able to, neutralize my loss and get a little profit out of it. And that is where I established the Quayside Construction Works. And since then, we have been able to do a lot of projects, a lot of start. And when people see that I did that project, they have confidence
in you. Okay.
Yes. So you see that I had passed through some kind of losses before, and I was able to make. If I hadn't taken up that particular opportunity, I would have lost that opportunity.
That risk.
If I hadn't taken it up, I would have lost that opportunity.
Do you think that prepared you for greater things ahead?
Yes, it really prepared me, because as it speaks now, anytime I go for bidding and the CIS World Bank project in my file, they don't have any hesitation. Okay. Because they believe that if I'll be able to do that, I'll be able to do it.
Okay.
So those things prepared me very well, and I always say that God in his own wisdom loved me by giving me an initial project being from World Bank.
Okay.
So that
was your first project?
That was my first project.
The World Bank project was your first project?
It was 52 rooms in Akemoda. It's a nursing hostel. 52 rooms, 3-story building. That was my first project. Somebody who hasn't done construction before, who hasn't even gone to bed before, but I had the opportunity, I took the risk, and I was able to execute it. Okay. And from that, I've been able to do a lot of projects for Get Fund, projects for some assemblies and kind of start. So what I see is that risk taking is part of life.
Risk taking is part of life.
It's part of life.
Okay.
And anybody who fears or who is a risk averse would be very difficult to make it in life.
Did you feel depressed when you lost that 80,000 at that initial stage, first stage?
I wasn't much depressed, but I was much more prepared in trying to do something different to be able to cover that loss. Okay. Because it was cash that was going down. So I said, okay, then I have to work hard and know all the mistakes that I did, correct them, now work on those things and be able to come back on track. And coming back on track, it was very difficult, but I was able to make it and then move on. So I see it as a way of learning, because if you don't fail in life, you will not be able to move forward.
If you don't fail in life, you'll not be able to move forward.
No, not sure, because failure is, let's say, an antidote for success. Okay. Yes, you need to fail.
First, you need to fail.
Fail, yes, so that you go and sit down or sleep and cry and weep and begin to think, what did I do wrong? What did I do this? And then you write those things down.
Did you ever face that? You had to wail and all that?
Even currently, I do.
You do?
Oh, currently, you do.
When you have some projects that are...
Yes. Sometimes you have a product, you think that the money is ready for them to pay you, go and do, and they are not paying you. Which you are owing people. Then you try to think about, how do I restructure myself to be able to come out from all this? So I think risk taking, it is very good for everybody to take, but you need to take what we call the calculated risk. Okay, it's very important. For instance, if I say calculated risk, if I want to sell, let's say 1,000 pieces of, let's say yam on the market, I need to make sure that I have people who are ready to take the 1,000 pieces of yam. Okay. Before I go and pick it from somebody on credit, and then you don't have anybody to sell, then it becomes a problem to you. So whenever you are taking a risk, it should be calculated. You should know when and what and whom you are giving to. It's very important. If you're able to know what, whom, and who you are giving to, you don't have a problem. At least there will be some kind of hinges here and there, but at least you'll be able to make it out.
All right. Well, we'll take in some of the projects you've done so far. What are some of the projects that your construction company has undertaken? And you have a construction company, and then you have
a distribution company.
Then
we also have a manufacturing company. Then we also have a farming company.
Okay. With the manufacturing company, what do you manufacture?
Okay, so in the manufacturing company, what we do is we manufacture concrete products. Concrete and concrete product. Okay. So currently, the Agenda 111 project.
Okay.
Fabrico Ghana Limited, that is from Deftraco company.
Okay.
They are doing 2 projects in Brim South and Achimansa, and we are the sole contractor or the sole manufacturer for the blocks that they are using. So currently we have supplied them over 500,000 pieces of blocks, and so we manufacture all those blocks. We manufacture pavement. We do paver blocks in so many ways. And then we are trying to, and then what we are doing we don't use the normal, we have moved from the simple way of molding blocks. We're using a lot of sophisticated machines. So we have a machine system that has to do its own mixing, and then travel from the conveyor to the silos, then the silos from there to the machine will manufacture, and it comes out itself. So there's a little bit of human interaction. Okay. So our system is somehow automatic, then so that at least we can do like 5,000 pieces of blocks a day. Okay. Yes. So we are able to create that kind of be able to solve the problem of people not be able to get quality building materials at that point in time. So for instance, as I told you, Deftraco was going to probably acquire blocks from Accra to Oda if it hadn't been us, because we are the only company that has that kind of machinery in that area, right from, let's say, from Sawam to Akemodan. We are the only company that has that kind of machine. Wow. So in Akemodan, to be specific, nobody has it. Nobody. So that is one of our core competence, that we are capitalizing on it to be able to feed the market. So when you come to us, 5,000 blocks we can give you. 5,000 blocks? Yes, a day we can give you. A day we can manufacture and give you. Wow. What's the number to call for that? Yeah, so when you want to reach us, you can just call 0266 422351. Again, 0266 422351. All right, 5,000 blocks a day. Yes, it's an achievable feat. Yes. Wow. Yeah. We'll go for a quick break. Welcome back, and I trust you're having an amazing time. Our guest for today, he is in the person of Mr. Dickson, and he's sharing amazing stuff with us right here on Inspiration with Felix Darcy. I trust you have been inspired from moving past the death of his father, through to selling to take care of himself, through to thinking and doing business himself. That shows that as a youth, you don't just have to rely on government. You don't just have to rely on people. No matter what you are going through, success is still possible. Your dreams are still valid. If you have any dream and you want to give up, remember the story of Mr. Dickson, having risen up to nobody taking care. You know you're responsible for your success. You the individual, you are. Apart from God, you are responsible for your success. Yeah. You see, sometimes you see, if you're going to live up to 70 years, assuming you're going to live up to 70 years, and then let's say your father is supposed to take care of you up to 25 years or 30 years, let's say 25. By 25, you have done with, let's say, your tertiary. So if you're going to live by 70 years, 25 years, it means that you have about 45 years more. Okay. So the rest of the 45, who is responsible? You are responsible for yourself. So you have much years than that. So the individual is responsible for himself of either becoming rich or poor. Becoming rich or poor is a decision that you have to take. Okay. It's either you want to remain in a secure way or you want to have a freedom way. A freedom way, okay. So because people, there are a lot of people who would have been a good entrepreneurs, but they have been right now, as I said, they have been secured in some companies such a way that they can't come out and do whatever they're supposed to do. For instance, when I was in a Joseph clinic, I did great things in there. When you go there, all the infrastructures, I did it at my time. At your time, okay. And my boss wanted to increase my salary at every now and then. Okay. But I stopped him. You can go and ask him. He said no. Because most of the time, my boss wanted to increase my salary every month just because he wanted to make sure I don't move out from the company. So sometimes there are some push and pull factors. If you are not careful and you are not convinced about what you want to do, you will be arrested into some company and you will never be able to come out to create your own. So there are a lot of individuals who would have loved to come out and build their whole companies, but then they are in companies that the company is taking care of your wife, they are giving you food, they are giving you rooms, they are giving
so they
you
are not
car.
able to come out of that comfort
Can't
zone.
come out.
Exactly.
That comfort zone. So you have to be able to know your direction that you are going. Right. So that when people are giving an offer, you evaluate the offer. And one thing that has entrapped people is that they say, oh, let me go to this company, like let's say Greco, so that when I get money, I can come out. You can't come out, so don't go. Those companies that we in quote that they are good companies, they are well-paying companies, you can't go there and exist. About 99% people go there and they never come back.
They don't come back.
You can't come back. You stay there till you die. Yes, because the company is giving you car. Some even give you money for wedding and that kind of stuff. So you can't come back. But there are a lot of deposit that God has placed in you. You know, God himself is an entrepreneur. So the decision to go for freedom or security is key for every person to be able to do what on this earth. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, then it means that you are going to give off your security aspect and go for freedom. The freedom means that the 24 hours in a day is being given to everybody. If somebody employs you, he will direct you how to use the 24 hours.
24 hours.
So assuming that you're going to work from 6 o'clock to 8 p.m., at that time, your employer determines how you're supposed to use the 24, that direction. So the employer can tell you that at 12 o'clock, go for lunch break. At 1 o'clock, come back. So if you don't go for the lunch break, you can't go again. But then if I decide to go for freedom, I decide when to go for break, decide when to work. So at that point in time, I'm able to use the 24 hours maximally to my own benefit or to how I feel it. But if you're working for somebody from the 6 to let's say to the 8 p.m., you may be under that person and the person controls you. So you don't have much time. The time you come, yes, you come, you are much exhausted and you don't have much time, much energy to do other things. So the decision to go into entrepreneurship are key. It's either you choose freedom or you go for security.
Someone said that salary is the bribe they give you so that your dreams can be suppressed.
Yeah, so we said that in terms of poverty, salary is just a medicine that will let you become to cool down, but it doesn't kill poverty.
It doesn't kill poverty.
So if you want to get out from poverty, it's not about salary. It's about you earning your own income. Then that is where in freedom there's risk in freedom.
There's risk in freedom, okay.
Because somebody can just pick his salary, his pay slip, and go to the bank and take loan. That is, the person is secured. The bank says, oh, okay, you are working with a controller accountant. How much do you want? They give it to you. If you are working as an individual, you don't have that pay slip. You don't have that thing to go to the bank.
To the bank and say
yes,
you are demanding for this.
Exactly. So your pay slip is the work that you do. And the moment you move to a step, a time will come that a businessman, so now when I see my colleagues going for loan 10,000 cedis for 5 years, I look at that and say, like, wow, I can take 1 million cedis for just let's say 3 years. You get it? But for them, the 10,000 cedis is huge. It's huge. So you have to move from that concept and know that I want to go for freedom. In freedom, you have the liberty to do everything, but there's much risk in everything that you do. Okay. It's from 0 to infinity. But in security, you are secure that they will give you some paycheck at the end of the month. At
the end of the month,
you get something.
So have something down.
Exactly. So that decision is key for young people. Young people should sit down and then think that if I go in for freedom, I have the liberty to use the 24 hours. In night, you can wake up and then be doing other things. But then when you are secured in some company, they will use you. Sometimes in the bank, they close at 10 p.m. before they come to the house. In the morning, if I live in Accra, some wake up as early as 4 a.m. just to go before the traffic and get to workplaces. So in your days of life, from working from age of 25 to the age of 60, you will be working under somebody directing you to how to use your time. So being an entrepreneur It's a great thing. And what Ghanaians need now are entrepreneurs and young entrepreneurs, because we are the people that can change the economy. If you go to America, people go to America and get job because most of the Americans are entrepreneurs. They have their own company. That is why people get a job. Those who go to abroad, they don't go and do government job.
No.
There's a few people. Yes, so they are individuals that has been able to set up their own companies. So if we are able to have the young guys setting up companies and making sure that companies move on, at least people will be coming out from school and they'll be getting unemployment. Because one of the biggest problems we have now, which is turning into national security problem, is unemployment. People are going to school, and the serious aspect is that with a free senior high school, in the next coming 4 years, more people will be coming out from the university. So we'll be having more people labor on the market looking for jobs. So if those that the young guys do not take that steps to look into create in more companies, there'll be a problem. That is why the government is quick trying to do Ghana Enterprise Agencies is giving you stars and those things, because he's seeing that problem that in the next four years, if he doesn't take care, there'll be chaos in this country, because people will be looking for a job. They are from school, they'll be depressed, and then they'll be confused, because after that they spend a lot of money in school and they're not getting jobs.
You're not getting a job.
They're not getting a job. So we have to check the nerves and move on, create our own thing, try as much as possible. Because for now, as I speak with you, we have a product that we are bringing out that we want to use waste materials, the plastic waste materials, to manufacture pallets. The pallet is for those that we use to manufacture the blocks. We have pallets, and there's no pallet company in Africa. And we are the first people that we want to do that and bring that factory into Ghana here. And all the companies that are manufacturing blocks in Ghana here, in West Africa, they all import the pallets. But we have been able to do research in such a form that we want to use plastic materials, the rubber, to be able to create that pallet. So we are looking up to investors, those who want to work with us. For us, the company we want to grow, we are not looking at growing a company for the family. No, I always said that my kids, they will choose to be there or they will choose to do their own thing. If I create my company, my son, if he wants to be an entrepreneur, must create his own company. I will just support him. So assuming that, let me just give you an example. Assuming that I'm able to do well, create an employment, have about 5,000 people, and I have a son who wants to be like me, and I make him come to the company, it means that we are just doing the same thing. But if I assist that son to create his own, he will employ about 15,000. Because at that time, all the mistakes that I did, I'll be able to share with him, give him a rich experience, back him up, go here, pass here. So that is what is killing the Ghanaian economy. People set up companies and they want to leave it for their family people. So when he dies, the company dies. But if you set up a company, because my company, I'm just praying that in the next 5 to 10 years, we should go to public. When I say public, it means that we should be listed in the Ghana Stock Exchange. So when we are listed, people can come buy shares and then do business with us. So when I die, the company doesn't die with me.
Exactly. There are people who have their shares.
Exactly in it, who also want to continue with that business. So when we have genuine business of people who want to think ahead like that, we assist them and we create sustainable business. So it shouldn't be a company that when the person dies, that's all, everything goes down to the grave. And we see that people will be fighting. He has about 3 wives. This one say this. No. My company will not go into that thing, because I tell you, and I'm saying this on your platform, and I've told my children that it is not for you. God gave it to me to come and do. That is an assignment I took from God. You also took your own assignment from God. So whatever you took from God, come and do that. Let me do my own and leave it and go.
You believe it's an assignment given to you by God?
Exactly. It's a purpose assignment that I asked from God, that God, I want to come to Ghana, and when I come to Ghana on this earth, I want to set up a company that will go Africa and go beyond Africa.
Right.
And God has given me that company, and He's there watching me. So any mistake that I do, when I go, I have to answer it. So I don't know what my son told God when he was coming. Hey, you want to be a doctor?
I don't know what my son told.
Oh yeah. So for instance, if you look at this lawyer, he has a son who is into music or whatever.
Music.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you can't say my father is a lawyer, so I also want to be a lawyer. No, whatever you told God to come and do, you go ahead and do it. But I want to finish and finish well. I want to die and die empty. I don't want to take anything to heaven. Anything that I'm supposed to do on this earth, I must be able to do and do it well before I leave this earth.
You speak so much about God. You have staunch belief in God.
Sure.
Okay. Where do you fellowship?
I'm a member of Church of Pentecost.
Okay.
I'm an elder, of course.
Wow.
And I preside over a central assembly.
Wow.
And
okay.
the reason why I attach much of my speech to God is that if you look at the background, what I'm telling you, lost my father in 1999, go through all these things. I didn't have anybody to pick up my hand. Nobody gave me anything. No support from anywhere, coming from the scratch. And within some small time, less than 40 years, I'm not 40 years, okay. I'm just over 35 years. See, and God has been able, I've been able to come this far. It means that it takes the grace of God to come this far. But you see, sometimes it may depend on the belief you have. Anything that you believe in, it will work for you. So I don't know what you believe in, but I believe in God. And not just God. I believe in two key things. The two key things are tithes and offering. And I just don't joke.
You believe in that?
I believe in that.
Okay.
Yes, because that has sustained my business.
Okay.
The tithe. I have had a lot of problems. If I should share some of the problems with you, when some in Ghana here, apart from the external forces that affect companies like the political, the environmental, the economics, and other things that affect companies here, there's one key thing that affects companies in Ghana here.
And what is that?
It's envy.
Envy.
Envy. When somebody sees that you are doing well, the old people will say, this young guy, let's bring him down. If we don't bring him down, he'll come and overtake us.
And take our businesses
and take our business away. Or even not even
your
business,
customers,
the fame and other things.
Wow.
So people can even conspire with other agencies. They can trick you. They can do a lot of things and bring people, just bring you down. I have had an experience whereby a GRE boss from Accra drove with siren to my company. At the end of the day, I hadn't done anything. And when they realized that, oh, this is a genuine business and that kind of things, they were all shocked. So it takes the grace of God to come to this far. There is something that the Bible says that when you give your 10th offering to God, the Bible said that for that sake, I will devour, I will rebuke the devourer for your sake.
Exactly.
So any business that you are doing and you think you believe in that, you need to give the tithing. Okay. And that is what the God does for us. So for me, I believe in God. I believe in tithing. I believe in offering. I believe in giving. And I believe in hard work. And I believe in raising it in passion. What I'm doing is out of passion. I love to do this business. After all, I have MPhil in finance. I am a chartered accountant. I can choose to go outside and do my PhD and get some investments and lecture. I can move out with my family, but I will never leave this Ghana here. I tell my wife that they can go. I'll remain here. I'll work here and make sure I create a sustainable business for the young ones to come and have access to business. I will stay in Ghana here for people to see that it's not when you're coming from a rich home, that's when you can build up your business. From a scratch, God can use you. No matter how you are, if you avail yourself to Him, and then you know where God is sending you to, you'll be able to do it. But one thing that people must be careful about, the young one, is the love of money.
The love of money, okay.
Yes. If I love money, I wouldn't have go ahead and be doing MPhil and be doing these things. Because after HND, I started making money. Even before going to do first degree. I remember in those times in 2011, 2012, when I come to Accra here to take money from my account, they don't give it to me. Because they look at my personality, look at my account, and they are shocked. So they have to call back Koforidua branch, that time was HFC, for the HFC people to say that, oh, give it to me, it is him, it is the guy. And they were shocked. So if I had want to love money and pursue money, okay, I would have gone ahead and been doing business. But I realized that they are deposit in us. You need to make sure you die empty. So if I'm able to do that, it enrich myself. Okay. So that when I sit down with investors and we are making discussions, and I make discussion, and I make contribution, I see that they see the richness in my contribution. It's because I have been to education, I know what I'm saying, and I know what I'm into it. And that also give me the edge to know which contract I'm entering to.
Okay.
So in life, I'm telling Ghanaians, the young ones, that they can do it. They should start small. They shouldn't look at the capital, and they shouldn't be thinking of somebody should borrow them money. No. If you borrow money, it becomes a liability onto you, a headache to you. Don't borrow to start business.
Don't borrow to start business, okay?
Don't borrow to start business. Start with a little. And when you get to a stage, the banks will be looking for you. They'll be chasing you to give you the money. And you say you don't like it. Yes. But then now, if you rush and borrow, you will enter into a pit that maybe you may not be able to come out. But if you try with the little that you have, the little savings that you are able to make, the vision might be bigger than yourself. Start small from somewhere. Look for another vehicle, a vehicle that will create income, a vehicle that will create cash for you. As I sit here, I speak to you, I have a machine that is printing money for me. If a machine is printing money for me, it means that my company, the manufacturing side, the moment they cut the block, those doing the manufacturing, they see it as blocks, but I see it as cash.
They are cutting the
the machine is working. So they think they are molding blocks. So the moment the machine cuts and it comes out, I see it as cash. So the moment they break it, I get angry. But for them, they think it is blocks. But I see it as cash. So at every minute, it cuts, and I calculate.
You're calculating.
You see the point? So make sure you have a vehicle that is printing money for you. If I have a vehicle that is printing money for you, you will always be on alert. If you don't even have money today, if I see that I don't have money today, I don't care. I know by evening I'll have money.
Okay.
Because it will print money for me. I will sell it and get cash. So anything at all that you think can print money for you, it is MTN transfer, if it is just selling of pure water,
little things.
Get something that will create money for you. Because the moment you wake up in a day, ECG is taking a share from you. Then you have water, Ghana water too.
Also taking.
They're taking. If you want to take a car, it means you have to buy the fuel. Even if you are taking trotro, it means that the fuel people too are taking. So everything activity that you do, somebody is taking money from you. So ask yourself, if you have 5 people taking money from you, who is bringing you money? Ask yourself that question. So that's what I ask myself every day. That as I came here, I'm driving. So as I'm driving, I'll buying fuel, I'll buying this and kind of start. But there should be something that people too will bring money to me. So that some go, some come in. So in a nutshell, I'll just urge Ghanaians and the young ones that entrepreneurship is a sweet thing to go by. But the risk, it is there. It is clear. And the moment you take the risk, they should be rest assured that God will help them.
Right.
And then every risk that they take, it should be calculated. Take the risk that you can. It is within your appetite.
Okay.
Don't go and take which is above you. Somebody can bring you business which you can think, oh, that the money will come. But if you know carefully that you can't take that risk, don't go. Most especially, let me say this on your network. If you are starting business, don't go in for government contract.
If you're starting business,
don't go in for government contract. They will kill you.
Okay.
You see, Ghanaian economy is such a way that if the contract is juicy, they give it to their own political people.
Okay.
But if the contract, there's kind of something there, they can give it to a small guy to do it. If you're not careful, you fall flat and you cannot wake up again. So I just urge people, just come on board and then realize what is in you, whatever, gets a vision. When you have a vision, you craft an objective from it, then you set up a target to achieve. Through that, and then you can have your KPIs, key performance indicators, to check what you are doing and see that if you are really doing something, whatever it is going wrong, and then you look at it. You can also try as much as possible, identify some critical success factors in your business. What when I do, the business can go on. When you're able to identify those things, you work on them, and then with time, I think you'll be able to make it.
All right. Thank you so much. Interesting conversation. The next time we meet, because of our time, this is where we'll end. The next time we'll meet, we'll talk about how to do business with a God factor. Because I see that you believe so much in God,
yes,
and
really.
things that hinder business. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay.
That was enlightening.
Thank you.
What's your final advice to those who are watching us, and also how they can contact your business?
Yeah, so those that are watching us, my final advice to them that 1,000 of journeys start with just a step.
Okay.
And then so they should try as much as possible that you can have the vision, but if you don't take a step in it, you'll not be able to realize that vision. So no matter what you want to become, take a step today. Go and make that mistake. Come and sleep and cry and think about it. Do it again, do it again, do it again, and you'll be there. If you want to contact me, as I said, my name is Dickson. I'm a financial analyst. I'm also into research. I'm also a chartered accountant. So we prepare accounts and books and other things. So you can contact me on 0266 422351. 0266422351 or ceo@chrisigroup.org.
All right.
Or you can also contact me on that.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that's it for inspiration today. My name is Felix Dazi. Thank you so much for joining us on this insightful television program. That was the CEO of Kwesi Construction, Kwesi Manufacturing, and Kwesi Distribution, right? All right. And we had an awesome time. So the Kwesi group of companies, right? We'll see you same time. I trust you have been inspired. We'll do this again on our next edition with him. We'll do this again, all right? And till then, have a wonderful time. Head on straight to our YouTube channel. That is, if you're watching us on television, head straight to our YouTube channel. It is INSPIRATION, Inspiration, and then you add with Felix Dazin, and definitely you will be inspired. Amazing stuff on there. And I trust that you will receive some adequate knowledge for your business, for your career, and everything that you want to do in life. Don't forget, your mind is the most powerful tool given to you by God. Make sure you don't waste it. I'll see you on our next episode. Bye-bye.